104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern on the phone with the legendary guitarist Robby Krieger and his current bandmate from the Robby Krieger and the Soul Savages, Ed Roth, before we get into this, I want to tell you guys, I just got a chance to listen to this album front to back, and it's incredible. I'm a huge fan of instrumental music. I love what you guys did on this record. I think the vibes are incredible. Tell me, Robby, how did this thing just get started right out of the gate?
Well, mainly from jamming. Just four guys getting together at my studio and having a good time jamming. And we would do this a couple of times a week. And this was during the pandemic. And our buddy Marco, who runs my studio,
the big brain,
he started recording the stuff. And it started sounding like a record pretty soon. So that's kind of how it started.
And I got to tell you, it comes across. I'm glad that's what you said that actually happened, because as a musician, I can hear it in the room. You can hear that that's how this thing, it's just a bunch of guys playing together, and it comes across that way. And I think that's why it sounds so good. It feels fresh. It sounds fresh. And I thought I enjoyed it front to back. Really, really well done. Ed, how did you and Robby start working together?
Some years back, a gentleman, good friend of mine and Robby's, Tommy Thayer, the guitar player from Kiss, does all-star, puts together an all-star group sometimes for charity events. And he called me on that, asked me to do the Doors stuff. Amusingly, there was another keyboard player, and somehow Robby was a little late coming in. When he came in, I happened to be in the bathroom. The other guy gave it a shot, kind of failed miserably, and I got to take over, and we've been playing together pretty much ever since.
Man, that's really cool. Robby, if you would have told my 15-year-old self that I would have got a chance to speak with you ever in my career, I would have probably said, you're smoking too much weed, son. But I just got to tell you, I'm a massive fan of everything that you did, obviously, with the Doors. Some of the guitar work you did inspired me as a guitar player, and it makes me feel good to hear that you're still doing what we all do and why we do what we do, and that's just playing music.
Yeah, so you play guitar, huh?
Oh, yeah. I play guitar, drums, bass. I do it all. The only thing I never really could do is wind instruments. I just don't have the breath for it, even though I talk for a living, which is ironic. Definitely inspired by you, for sure.
Yeah, I started playing trumpet. That was my first instrument.
I just couldn't get the lips thing. I don't know how the hell you guys do that.
Well, I wasn't good at it either, so I started playing guitar.
And your style is one that is very specific to you, and that's something that I always talk about when it comes to certain guitarists. And when you play a note or maybe a lick, it's Robby Krieger. Clapton, same thing. David Gilmour. You guys all have your specific tone, it's your signature, it's your voice, if you will. And yours, it definitely has a lot of jazz fusion in there, and of course the blues. You got the slide stuff that you do too. But why did you go in the direction of flamenco guitar, especially with your hand picking style?
Well, my dad had all these records when I was growing up. He had all these 78 records, just a whole wall of them, and my favorite ones were the flamenco ones for some reason. So I always had that in my mind, even though I didn't start playing guitar till I was like 14.
Wow. And then you were in the Doors, 2-3 years later?
Yeah.
That's incredible. The fact that, oh my goodness, I wish I would have joined a band 3 years after I started playing. That's great. So you guys, obviously, like I said, the new record, Robby Krieger and the Soul Savages, it's a really, really good album. And like I said, if you are in instrumental music, this album's out now. Go check it out. You're really going to love it. It's a really good vibey record. Are you guys planning on taking this thing out on the road?
If we can, we will. You know, we've been playing around town here for the past couple of years, and so we've played, you know, quite a few shows, and it really has been great, you know, playing. You know, I'm always afraid that people are going to freak out and want to hear the Doors and start screaming for a Doors song. But that hasn't happened.
Well, and like I said, if you go into it knowing your style and knowing the guys that you're playing with on this record, Ed included, you know that it's going to be really good. And like I said, I'm a big fan of this music. So there was not one time where I was listening to that record thinking to myself, man, I really wish I heard Light My Fire or something. I heard what you guys were doing, and I definitely appreciated it. It was very, very, very well done. You guys still getting together once or twice a week and jamming in your studio?
Yeah, if we're not doing a gig, we're come in the studio and play. You know,
that's really cool.
Ed and I are going to play next week with Ed's buddy and record some stuff.
Ed, tell me about that.
Well, yeah, it's an old friend of mine, Chad Smith, wonderful drummer.
Hell yeah!
And just. Yeah, we worked together a lot back in the day. I met Chad in a funny way, not knowing he was in the Chili Peppers. So that was, you could actually become friends with somebody when you don't know too much about their background. I think it makes it easier. But yeah, looking forward to that. And, you know, looking forward to us playing out. Thank you so much for dicking on the record. I feel like our spirit, musicians, their spirit comes out in their playing, and I think there's a lot of joy in playing, and it came out on that album. Great drummer on that, Franklin Vanderbilt, great bass player, Kevin Brandon, and of course, no one sounds like Robby. You can tell him in 20 notes, you've gone, oh, that's Robby Krieger.
Oh, yeah, 110%. You know exactly who's talking. And that's something I always talk about with music, especially as a musician. When you're in a band, you're in a group with people, you're speaking a language only that four of you understand together. And then if you do it right, the audience can at least understand that you guys are communicating and can see what your language is that you've created. And like I said, it comes across. It really does. Sounds great. And the camaraderie and the way you guys work with each other is very, very cool. Any kind of new gear that you used on this new record, Robby, or was it pretty much the same kind of SG style guitar? Were you using any kind of different effect pedals, anything like that?
You know, I have some new pedals and stuff, but I've been pretty much sticking to the SG. I have this '67 SG I've been playing for the last 30 years, pretty much. And you know, for a while I went to the 335s and 355s, but always kept with Gibsons, and but then after a while I went back to the SG, and I just can't seem to get away from that guitar.
Is it the pickup setup? Is it the way the neck feels? Is it the weight? What is it?
Well, it's not that. You know, it's the weight is one thing for sure, because you know, as you get older, you know, playing. We still play like 2-3 hour sets. So it gets to your neck bones after a while. I just love the way that guitar plays, you know. It's got that double cutaway. You see, you can get up high easily. And pickups, great too.
Really cool. Well, Robby and Ed, thank you guys both for taking the time out of your very busy schedule. Thank you for continuing to play music together and then releasing it so we can hear it. The new album is called Robby Krieger and the Soul Savages. I hope to see this live and in person on the stage soon, guys. I would definitely love to see you guys live if you are able to take it out on the road. Again, thank you so much for taking the time and talking with me this morning.
All right, man. To come and play someday.
I would love it. If you can make that happen, I will buy the first plane ticket out of here, and I'll be at your studio in 5 hours.
That's the deal. That's the deal. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys very much.